Now what Jordan and Jacob are doing is they're scuffing the new outer wheelhouse that we put on because we decided to undercoat it. We're going to put some of that bed liner on it, see how that works. And so they're scuffing it up so that it sticks good. Also scuffing all the metal areas. We want to make sure that if there is any traces of rust, that it is removed before we start applying the coatings. Okay, now what Jacob's doing is he's spraying it down really good with wax and grease remover, and he's going to do one small section at a time. And because you don't want to allow this to dry on there, because if it dries on there, you're just going to smear it around. You're not going to get all the contaminants off. So he's going to wet it down really good, wipe all the wax and grease remover over, and Jordan's going to start another section up here. We're just going to go over this whole area to assure that all the contaminants are off by using this wax and grease remover. I'm going to do anywhere there's bare metal, I'm going to spray. You don't want to put this on thick. This is self-etch primer, has acid in it. You just want to put a couple of light coats. So anywhere that is bare metal that we're finished with, that we're not going to be doing any more welding, we'll use this. Now we're going to be welding in that area. Notice I put some on. I'll come back and put a little bit more, but you don't want to get this stuff on too thick. We're done all in here. Now we'll be these flanges out here we're going to be welding to or putting adhesive on, so we're going to leave those. Same thing up under here, we're going to be welding on that. Should have done that one. All this will be welded on, so I think that's got it. Okay, we've got our self-etch primer on there. We allowed that to sit. Now I want to get some just regular primer, some high build primer, and I'm going to put a coat of that on everywhere I put the self-etch. And then what I'm going to do after I put this primer on any of these seams and over where I'm going to go ahead and put some seam sealer, just to assure that everything's sealed up and we don't have rust. For some areas like this that are designed in there, you don't want to seal those up because that allows, if any water gets in there, you don't want to get it to where it stays in here. But all these areas I'm going to seal up. Okay, now you need to determine, you're going to need to know where you're going to use adhesives and where you're going to weld. Now, you don't have to use adhesives. Most body shops do on newer cars. They work well, but I like using both adhesives and plug welds. But, cars just used to be made, just with plug welds, so it's kind of up to you. If you don't use adhesives, you'll have to come back and make sure you seam seal everything so moisture don't get inside the crevices. But where I'm going to weld at, I'm going to put this weld through primer And anywhere I'm going to put adhesives at, I don't want to get this on there. So I'm going to weld all this back area. So I'm going to weld through primer all that metal. All this is going to be welded, so I'm going to use weld through primer there. Up here, I've got one plug weld I'm going to do on top and one on bottom, and the rest is going to be adhesives. So I just want to spray just those spots with this and then leave the rest of this metal. I'll show you what to do with that metal here in a minute. And then all up under here, I'm going to use adhesives. So I'm going to go ahead and spray the metal areas that's going to be welded. Yeah, I'm going to use adhesive there, but I'm going to weld here. Okay, just a spot down in here. I've got one right down here. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and apply some seam sealer. This is just to seal up the seams, like it says. This is just a 1 part fast and firm seam sealer by 3M. They have some 2 parts that are maybe a little bit better than this one. This one worked fine for this. Actually, I thought this was one of the cheaper ones, and it cost more than I thought. So, but anyway, we'll go ahead and spread this. And I'm just going to spread it over these seams, remembering to leave some of the areas open for water to escape. I'm going to put them over my welds in case there's any pinholes there, just anything to keep moisture from getting in there. And I just got some on there. We're not really going for a real smooth look on the inside here. There's another trick I can show you later on during the build where you can get that real smooth. I'm just going to kind of give it a brush, just to kind of give it a brushed look. You do get a little you don't want on there, like right here. Just get a little wax and grease remover and smooth it out. If you want to get that smoother, that's what I was going to show you. You can use some wax and grease remover, kind of lightly go over it, and that'll smooth it up some. But for this will work fine. Where'd that brush go? Okay, we was going to use some undercoating, but I decided to try this truck bed coating. This is just the dupli-color spray can coating. See how it works. I've never actually used this brand. I've used undercoating, but we'll spray some of this on there and see how we like it. Just going to spray it in thin coats, keep from getting it too thick. Sprays a lot like undercoating. Now up in here in crevices, even if it runs, I'm going to get it pretty thick just to, you know, some more sealing up in there where I couldn't get real good.